In old age, why the elderly choose not to make friends or socialize. As people reach the later stages of life, the dynamics of friendships and social interactions change. For many elderly individuals, the desire to socialize wanes not from a lack of interest in others, but from a profound shift in priorities, values, and the experience of life itself. Social relationships and external validation, once seen as vital, now feel optional, even distracting from the serene, slower paced life they wish to embrace. In an era where self discovery and personal peace are cherished above all else, many elderly individuals find fulfillment in solitude, independence, and a simpler way of living. This choice, to spend time alone or with only a select few, is often misunderstood as loneliness or isolation. But the truth is much deeper. Here are 9 key reasons why many elderly Americans aged 55 to 80 consciously choose solitude over socialization in their golden years. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. 1. The profound weariness of relationship maintenance. As the years accumulate, so does the emotional and mental fatigue associated with sustaining relationships. Building and maintaining friendships, once a source of excitement and joy, can, in later years, feel like an increasingly heavy burden. In youth, relationships were fresh journeys, full of discovery and mutual growth. But with age, these connections take on a different weight. Many elderly individuals feel they have traversed the landscape of companionship enough to understand its highs and lows deeply. Now, opening up to new people or maintaining casual acquaintances often feels more like a duty than a choice. This weariness is not rooted in apathy, but in a sense of emotional fulfillment. Older adults often reach a point where they no longer feel the need to constantly share, explain, or compromise to fit into new social circles. The personal growth, resilience, and wisdom gained from decades of interactions have filled their hearts with enough understanding and memories to last. They realize that, like a well-told story, their lives already contain chapters of love, friendship, and empathy. Adding more can sometimes feel unnecessary, like revisiting a path that's been walked enough times to know it by heart. Maintaining relationships is much like tending to a fire. It requires constant attention, nurturing, and energy. With age, many older adults acknowledge that not every fire needs to keep burning. Instead, they savor the warmth of the embers from past connections, reliving cherished moments in memory rather than in obligation. They have come to understand that letting certain relationships cool is not a sign of detachment, but a form of acceptance and respect for life's natural ebb and flow. This realization brings a gentle freedom, freedom from societal expectations to remain socially active, and the freedom to choose peace over people pleasing. For many, this shift is an act of wisdom and self-respect. They recognize that happiness now comes less from others' acceptance and more from their own. Their hearts are not closed off. They're simply full, enriched by the emotional experiences of a lifetime. The choice to step back from socializing reflects a deep understanding that true contentment resides within, nourished by a quiet independence and the gentle rhythm of a life lived without the need for external validation. In embracing solitude over social gatherings, they're not escaping relationships, but choosing to honor their own well-being, preserving their energy for the things that truly matter to them now. This profound weariness isn't a weakness. It's a quiet triumph, a peaceful acceptance that not every bond needs to be rekindled, and that some connections are best left as cherished memories, held close in the quiet calm of later years. 2. The sacred reclamation of time and personal freedom. In the later years of life, time takes on an almost sacred quality. After decades of meeting demands, fulfilling obligations, and tending to the needs of others, many elderly individuals find themselves yearning for the precious gift of time spent on their own terms. This stage is not simply about having more hours in the day, it's about choosing how to fill those hours with intention and self respect. For the first time in perhaps decades, they have the freedom to prioritize what genuinely brings them joy and peace without the weight of societal expectations or family obligations. Time now feels like a treasure, something they alone possess and have complete control over. For many older adults, this means immersing themselves in long forgotten passions, exploring new interests, or relishing simple pleasures they once overlooked. They may return to hobbies abandoned in the flurry of responsibilities, gardening, reading, or even the quiet joy of sitting in nature. These small intentional acts are more than just pastimes. They are expressions of a life finally reclaimed, of desires that were long deferred, now coming into gentle focus. The beauty of this personal freedom is that it's deeply peaceful. It's not about isolation, but about the choice to be alone with oneself, to discover contentment in solitude. There is no longer a need to fill time with busy schedules or to participate in social gatherings that don't feel fulfilling. The elderly understand, perhaps better than anyone, that happiness isn't measured by the number of people around us, but by the quality of the moments we spend with ourselves. In solitude, they find a richness, a quiet satisfaction that arises from doing what feels natural and right for them at this stage of life. This prioritization of personal time also reflects a profound shift in values. Many older adults no longer feel compelled to keep up with the social expectations that once dictated so much of their lives. They have seen the cycle of external validation and understand its fleeting nature. Now, they choose the quieter joys, watching the sunrise, savoring a well made cup of coffee, or simply sitting with their thoughts. This isn't withdrawal from the world, it's a return to self, an honoring of the self that often went unnoticed amid the responsibilities of family, career, and community. In reclaiming their time and choosing personal freedom, they're not turning away from others, they're turning toward themselves. This is their moment to live at their own pace, to create a life centered around what truly matters to them, free from the pressures to please, perform. It is an intentional, dignified choice that speaks to the wisdom of age and the peace found in one's own company. This sacred reclamation of time and freedom becomes a profound act of self love, a quiet assertion that they are finally living life on their own terms, savoring every moment with a depth and clarity only the later years can bring. 3. The deep rooted caution, born from loss and change in relationships. As the years pass, the elderly often find themselves intimately acquainted with loss in all its forms, be it the physical absence of loved ones, the slow drifting of once cherished friendships, or the profound shifts in emotional closeness and shared values. For many, these repeated experiences of separation and change carve out a sense of caution, a careful self protection born from understanding the fragile, impermanent nature of human connections. Relationships, once a source of joy and companionship, can become reminders of life's transience, each parting leaving its mark on a heart that has already known the depths of love, friendship, and farewell. This caution does not signify bitterness or reluctance to connect, but is a reflection of wisdom, an acknowledgement of the realities that come with age. Many elderly individuals choose to maintain a healthy distance from new relationships, knowing the emotional toll of attachment and the potential pain of loss. It's not that their hearts are closed, Rather, their hearts have borne witness to the ebb and flow of relationships over time. They have seen the beauty of connection, but also felt the weight of its endings. And so they embrace a gentler, more cautious approach. Beyond the fear of losing others, there's also the subtle fear of one's own changes over time. Aging brings transformations in both body and mind. Mobility may slow, memory may fade, and energy may wane. With this awareness comes the concern that they may no longer be able to uphold their part in a relationship, that they might someday become a burden or fall short of the expectations they once so easily met. This fear leads many seniors to retreat, not out of withdrawal, but out of a sense of responsibility and a desire to avoid causing pain to themselves or others. In their caution, they're protecting their hearts from further emotional turbulence, choosing instead to nurture the connections that have endured the tests of time. They know that new relationships bring with them the potential for new disappointments, new worries, and new farewells. With an acceptance of life's impermanence, they turn inward, finding a sense of stability and peace in the familiar. They come to understand that not every bond must be forged anew, and that some connections are best honored as memories rather than as continuous presences. This guarded approach does not mean they are lonely. On the contrary, they are at peace with the bonds they have nurtured over a lifetime and cherish these as cherished keepsakes of their journey. In choosing solitude or a smaller, more intimate circle, they are not turning their backs on the joy of relationships, but rather holding close the connections that have survived, those that bring comfort without demand. This caution, this choice to step back from the complexities of forming new relationships, reflects a wisdom that has learned to honor life's ebb and flow without resistance. It is a gentle surrender to the realities of time, a choice to focus on the love and memories that already fill their hearts. For them, peace is found not in expanding their circle, but in cherishing what remains, in cultivating a life where their emotional energy is preserved and their hearts are gently protected from the inevitable changes that every bond carries. In this space of acceptance, they find a calm, resilient happiness, a quiet contentment rooted in the memories of love they have already known and the inner strength they have built over time. 4. A profound shift in life values and perspective. As individuals reach the later stages of life, a profound shift in perspective unfolds, allowing them to see beyond the surface of societal expectations, achievements, and external validation. What once mattered so intensely, the rush to make connections, the desire for social approval, the need to accomplish, begins to lose its urgency and shine. Older adults look back with a sense of clarity that only comes from living through the highs and lows, the struggles and victories. They realize that life's truest value lies not in accumulating experiences or accolades, but in finding inner harmony, in embracing simplicity, and in understanding the depth of one's own spirit. This change in values allows them to filter out what is truly meaningful. They no longer feel bound by the need to maintain a busy social calendar or to constantly expand their networks. Instead, they seek a life rooted in genuine connection, authenticity, and moments that resonate deeply within. Fleeting acquaintances and surface level conversations hold little appeal. They have tasted the richness of true friendship, family bonds, and shared memories. Now, they are content to embrace only those connections that bring real joy, peace, and understanding. This shift also brings a gentle courage to live by one's own values. No longer feeling the need to impress or conform, older adults begin to focus inward, valuing moments of solitude, introspection, and quietude. They recognize that greatness does not come from projecting an image to others, but from a profound understanding of oneself. By letting go of external expectations, they find the freedom to live as they are, untethered from the weight of social pressures. This transformation in values allows them to prioritize what genuinely nurtures their soul, stepping away from the noise of the outside world to cultivate a serene, deeply fulfilling inner life. 5. The strength and dignity of self-reliance. For many elderly individuals, self-reliance represents a hard-won freedom, a testament to their resilience and the quiet strength that has carried them through life's seasons. After decades of interdependence, whether within families, workplaces, or communities, they reach a stage where the desire to stand on their own becomes paramount. This isn't a rejection of others, but a celebration of the dignity found in autonomy. In managing their own lives and decisions, they rediscover a sense of control, independence, and self-respect that feels like a return to a long-lost part of themselves. This commitment to self-reliance is often a deeply personal philosophy, a way of preserving both pride and peace. The elderly often shy away from leaning on others, not because they feel unwelcome, but because they value the freedom to navigate life on their terms. Every small act, preparing a favorite meal, tending to a garden, or handling daily routines, becomes a quiet affirmation of their continued ability to care for themselves. It's a profound choice to embrace life as they wish, even if that means stepping back from relationships that might bring dependency or obligation. Many older adults also carry a natural apprehension about becoming a burden to loved ones, wishing to shield their families from the weight of responsibility. This desire for independence is as much about respect for others as it is about self-respect. By choosing a life of self-reliance, they honor both their own capabilities and the freedom of those around them. In the quiet solitude of managing their lives alone, they find a powerful satisfaction, a sense of fulfillment in knowing that their life remains their own, shaped by their choices, their actions, and their resilient spirit. This choice reflects not isolation, but a profound confidence, a peaceful testament to the strength they've cultivated over a lifetime. 6. Embracing a slower, more intentional pace of life. In the golden years, the relentless rush of earlier decades gives way to a slower, more mindful pace, a choice born from both wisdom and necessity. This deliberate slowing down isn't about surrendering to age, it's about savoring the richness of each moment. In their youth, the elderly were driven by schedules, deadlines, and the constant need to prove themselves in a world that valued productivity. Now they understand that true fulfillment lies not in how much they achieve, but in the depth with which they experience life. Slowing down allows them to rediscover the beauty and simplicity, the joy of an early morning sunrise, the warmth of a well-brewed cup of tea, the peace of an afternoon spent listening to birds. These moments, once hurried through, now hold immense significance. With each passing year, they find themselves more in tune with the rhythm of life, free from the pressures of societal expectations. This slower pace invites them to reflect, to savor, and to live with intention, finding joy in the quiet moments that younger generations may overlook. In choosing to live more slowly, they also embrace a life of release, a release from worries, ambitions, and obligations that no longer serve them. They understand that they do not need to chase accolades or social approval to feel complete. Instead, they let go of the weight they once carried, prioritizing peace and simplicity. This slower lifestyle is not an escape, but a conscious embrace of what truly matters. It is a return to what is essential, a choice to focus on personal well-being, spiritual growth, and inner contentment. This slower pace brings with it a profound freedom. No longer rushing to meet external demands, they can devote time to self-care, to nurturing both body and soul, and to appreciating the precious gift of each day. In this space of tranquility, they find not loneliness, but an intimate closeness with life itself. Every breath, every moment becomes an opportunity to connect with their own spirit, to reflect on the beauty of a life lived fully and authentically. For the elderly, this choice to slow down is a testament to their resilience, their acceptance, and their ability to find profound joy in the simple, steady rhythm of life. 7. Adapting to health challenges and a changing environment. With age, the body inevitably changes, bringing limitations that can reshape an elderly person's relationship with the world. For many, even once simple tasks such as walking, standing for extended periods, or participating in gatherings can become difficult. This shift isn't merely physical, it requires an emotional adjustment as well. Health issues like reduced mobility, chronic pain, or cognitive changes add layers of complexity to social interaction, often making outings and visits more daunting than delightful. What was once effortless now requires consideration, planning, and often assistance, which can feel both exhausting and humbling. In facing these health challenges, many elderly individuals choose to draw closer to home, creating a smaller, more manageable world where they feel safe, comfortable, and in control. The home becomes a sanctuary, a place where they can navigate their day without the fear of falling short, where they can find peace in routines that suit their capabilities. This choice to limit social interaction is not a rejection of others, but a gentle acceptance of their own physical state. They no longer feel pressured to push beyond their comfort zone, but instead cherish a lifestyle that aligns with their present needs. Furthermore, life often necessitates changes in living environments, moving to retirement communities, assisted living facilities, or even relocating to be closer to family. Such shifts can be disorienting, cutting them off from familiar neighborhoods, friends, and routines. Rebuilding social networks in these new settings can be overwhelming and, for many, feels unnecessary. In these new environments, they may prefer to focus on themselves and embrace a smaller, quieter existence. Within the comfort of familiar routines and simple activities, they find fulfillment without the stress of adapting to new social dynamics. Ultimately, the choice to withdraw slightly from social engagements is a response to both physical and environmental realities. It is a way to honor their health, to respect the limitations of their bodies, and to seek peace in a world that's comfortable and manageable. In accepting their own boundaries, they find a profound grace, a quiet satisfaction in living gently, fully, and within the realm of what they can embrace with ease. 8. Choosing simplicity to avoid complexity and conflict in relationships. In the later years, older adults often develop a deep appreciation for simplicity. They have lived through countless misunderstandings, arguments, and reconciliations, and have come to understand the toll that complex relationships can take on one's peace of mind. Having seen life's intricate web of emotions, opinions, and conflicting values, they recognize that not every relationship serves their well-being. To them, peace has become more valuable than proving a point, more treasured than maintaining connections that feel burdensome. A key reason for this preference for simplicity is the potential for value clashes, especially between generations. Younger individuals may carry strong, fresh perspectives, often eager to debate topics like politics, lifestyle choices, or personal beliefs. For older adults, these discussions can feel like storms that disturb the calm they've worked hard to cultivate. They have come to understand that not every difference needs to be reconciled, that not every conversation needs a resolution. Instead, they choose to disengage from conversations and relationships that invite stress, preferring to guard their inner serenity. This does not mean they shut themselves off from human connection. Rather, they seek relationships that bring quiet companionship and gentle understanding. Those that don't demand words or explanations, but provide comfort and presence. They find joy in the simple, reliable connections that do not require constant maintenance or complex negotiations. These relationships might include a neighbor they wave to each morning, a friend they sit in silence with, or a family member who simply listens without judgment. By choosing simplicity over complexity, they're preserving their peace, embracing a lifestyle where their heart remains untroubled by unnecessary disputes or demands. It is a decision to prioritize tranquility, to protect the emotional stability they have cultivated over years of learning and experience. This intentional shift towards simplicity is not a retreat. It is a wise philosophy of living, where happiness is found in gentle connections and unspoken understandings rather than in the complications of social expectations. 9. A deepened connection with spirituality and inner self. As the years unfold, many elderly individuals find themselves drawn to a journey inward, where spirituality and self reflection become central aspects of their lives. This stage of life often brings with it a sense of perspective, a recognition of life's impermanence, and a desire to seek meaning beyond the material and social realms. Whether through organized religious practices, meditation, nature walks, or quiet moments of personal reflection, they discover a profound sense of peace and purpose within themselves that fills the spaces once occupied by social interactions. This spiritual journey provides a grounding force, a deeper understanding that life's greatest joys and answers often lie within. They come to value the connection they feel with something larger than themselves, a presence that offers comfort, strength, and serenity. For some, this takes the form of religious faith, while for others, it may be a meditative practice or a quiet reverence for the natural world. This inward focus becomes a path toward acceptance, forgiveness, and grace, allowing them to navigate the later stages of life with resilience and calm. In embracing this spirituality, they find that they need less from the external world. Social gatherings, new friendships, and the validation of others begin to feel less essential because their sense of self is now anchored in a deeper understanding. They experience a contentment that does not rely on external validation or approval. It is a quiet assurance that comes from within, a peace that cannot be shaken by the fluctuations of the world outside. This spiritual connection also offers them a sense of completion, a feeling that they have, in many ways, reached the destination they were always seeking. They are at home within themselves, and this self-sufficiency brings a profound joy that fills any perceived void left by social withdrawal. In this solitude, they find a freedom that is both uplifting and comforting, a place where they feel whole, at peace, and deeply connected to the essence of life itself. In choosing to focus on their spirituality and inner self, they are not turning away from the world but stepping into a space of profound fulfillment and understanding. This journey within allows them to live the later years with a sense of purpose and wholeness, finding joy in a deeper connection to life itself rather than in the ever-changing landscape of social interactions. For them, this is a life richly lived, a journey not toward isolation, but toward a profound inner peace, where they feel both liberated and content, quietly embracing the beauty of their own spirit. Embracing a peaceful, independent path. In choosing not to socialize, many elderly individuals aren't rejecting the world. They're embracing a life of profound meaning, peace, and self-acceptance. For them, this choice allows them to connect with themselves, honor their own needs, and live free from external pressures. It's a conscious decision to find joy in simplicity, harmony, and inner fulfillment, savoring the richness of life without the need to seek it in others. These choices reflect wisdom, resilience, and a commitment to live authentically. In solitude, they find not loneliness, but freedom. They have discovered a deeper form of happiness, one that comes from within, rooted in a life lived true to their values, and grounded in a deep appreciation for all that they have experienced. This path, though quiet, is filled with purpose and fulfillment. For the elderly, this is not a withdrawal from life, but an arrival at a place of profound peace. It is a life where every moment, every breath, and every quiet joy is cherished. A life lived deeply, fully, and with an open heart. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with one. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.